Hey people, how's it going? Welcome to another video. I know it's been a few weeks since my last one, just no excuses, just schedule, babies, just busy. I've got another vinyl themed album for you. Today we're gonna tackle, I'm gonna take you through all the Swirl albums that we've got. So obviously you have, I did one a little while ago on colors. I did a video called Colors of the Rainbow, so I went through, I went through red, blue, green, all that jazz. And I thought today I'd just sit down and do a small one about taking you through all the Swirl ones that I've got. So, like I say, so they're all swirly slash, like different ones other than just straight blue colored, green colored. Do you know what I mean? You'll get what I mean when I take you through them. They're alphabetical, apart from the last two. I actually forgot about them until just before. Yeah, so without further ado, let's just get straight into it. But before we do, obviously, talk about what we're listening to while we go through this. It's a bit cold today, winter is coming. So we're playing Bathory's awesome black metal third album, Under the Sign of the Black Mark. Easily one of Bathory's best albums. If you're a fan of black metal, but you haven't really, seen where black metal came from, I highly recommend you check out Bathory. The self-titled debut is fantastic. The second album, Return, is also fantastic. This one takes the cake, though, of their black metal stuff, I will say. And then after this is where they started to get more Viking influence. But Bloodfire Death afterwards is still fantastic. But yeah, this is just fantastic black metal from Sweden. This is what every black metal band thinks they sound like. It's just so good. What do we listen to right now? We've just put it on. So this is Massacre, if you can hear it. It's such a good album. Highly recommend you check this one out. But yeah, that's today's soundtrack, Under the Sign of the Black Mark. So yeah, like I say, we're going to show you all the swirls. So I've got a few. I didn't realize I actually had as many as I did. So I'm going to take them all out, obviously, and show you what the swirls are. Most of them, I'll say most of them. I think you might have seen them all already, just in like other previous videos and things like that. But oh well, doesn't matter. First one we've got up is Alestorm's third album. Let me just move to the side here. We've got Alestorm's third album, Back Through Time. This I bought this when I bought their latest album, Seventh Thrum of the Seventh Thrum, which I didn't like at first, but that grew on me. This one's a green and white, funky sort of one. Look at that. Definitely more so white than it is green, but I mean, I think it's awesome. I love Back Through Time. I think Back Through Time is a really cool album. It's where they started to get, you could say it's like their first experimental album, like other than straying away from straight pirate stuff. But other than that, I think it's a really, really cool album. Most of the songs on here are pretty awesome. Back Through Time, the title track, is just a blast beat fest of pirates going back in time to kill Vikings. Awesomely cool stuff. Shipwrecked, Sunken Norwegian, Midget Saw, Buckfast Power Smash. That's probably the first stupid song. Scraping the Barrel is actually really cool. I really like that song. Rum is from this album. That's probably my favorite Alestorm song. That one's so cool. Death Roads the Terror Squid, a bit of a black metal influenced song there, real cool. Barrett's Privateers is cool too. Yeah, literally, it's a great album. Alestorm's third one from 2011, Back Through Time. Really cool stuff. Continuing the pirate theme, obviously I just said I bought that with the latest album, and here is the latest album. I've showed this before in my vinyl update video. This is Seventh Thrum of a Seventh Thrum, which came out last year. Yeah, it came out in June last year. This one is, I haven't seen its full capacity, but this one is glow in the dark. Good old Alestorm. All these like silly power metal bands like, Glory Hammer and probably some others as well. Alestorm, Glory Hammer, all that stuff. They release their albums in such weird styles, do you know what I mean? Like I say, have you ever seen a glow in the dark LP? I certainly haven't, but this one is, glow in the dark. Like I say, I haven't actually seen it glow in the dark. So, because normally when I'm out here listening to albums, the lights are on or it's daytime. But I mean, weird little niche. But I was like, go on, I'll get a glow in the dark LP, because like I say, how many people can say they've got one of those? But yeah, Seventh Thrum. I won't lie, it's not my favorite Alestorm album. It might be my favorite Alestorm cover, but it's definitely a bit subpar compared to what I rank as number one, being No Grave But the Sea. That's a fantastic album. Right, off the pirates now. So like I say, we're in alphabetical, so we jump into America. And we jump into death metal with Cannibal's debut album. We got Eaten Back to Life. I've definitely shown this album, I think, a good few times. Well, I did a ranking of Cannibal, and this was in an update ages ago. This is Eaten Back to Life. Did I already say that? And it's just, it's Cannibal's debut. What more can you say other than that? This one is, how do you describe this? It's like a blood splatter thingy-mabob. This is what I mean when I say like, so obviously this isn't a swirl. This one's more, you know, what do you call it? Splatter. Yeah, blood splatter. But it's a fantastic, this is a fantastic album. Obviously it's not their most brutal work, because it's the debut, but if you know anything about me, you know that I freaking love debuts and they are incredibly important. You know, 9 times out of 10, I'm always a bit of a slut for making sure that the debut gets appreciated and things like that. Apart from, you know, there is obviously the odd band where the debut is terrible. Judas Priest, but like I say, they can't all be perfect. Honestly, it's such a fun album. Yes, it's much more of a thrash metal. It's like the most aggressive thrash metal album you've ever heard, because I haven't really discovered their death metal vibe yet. That comes later on Butchered and Tomb, but this album is still so cool. The riffs on it are damn catchy. Every song on here is pretty awesome. Shredded Humans, Edible Autopsy, Scattered Remains, Splattered Brains. I love that one. Rotting Head, Bloody Chunks, Skull Full of Maggots. Honestly, if you've only heard Have a Smashed Face, I highly recommend you go check out the debut, Eaten Back to Life from 1989? Or is it 1990? I think it's 1990. One of those. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. More Cannibal now. We get the second album. We have Butchered at Birth. This is actually one of my more recent purchases, and this one I didn't actually know was going to be a splatter. This one it's like a smoky grey kind of vibe. Like, I don't know if it's just because I'm holding up to the certain light. Oh yeah, if you look at the camera, it definitely just looks like a smoky kind of grey, but for me it looks almost purple. But like, you know, that's pretty, I like it. It doesn't, to me, doesn't change the sound. Like I say, I didn't know that I was getting a swirly one for Butchered at Birth. I bought it because I was like, yo, Butchered at Birth's cool. I mean, Butchered at Birth isn't the best Cannibal album. I think we all know that. I mean, and if you didn't know that, the only reason people, including myself, you know, we rank it down low, is production-wise. The production on Eaten Back to Life sounds, you know, pretty, I won't say rough, but it's you know, it's very basic. And this one kind of steps back in terms of production. It sounds a lot muddier. It's just a bit messier. I don't know if that's just because it's like, this is like our first proper death metal album, you know. But yeah, it's still, song-wise, it's still great. Meat Hook Sodomy, Vomit the Soul, Butchered at Birth, Gutted, Live and Dissection. They're all great. Honestly, I'd still recommend people listening to this album if you're trying to find some, you know, death metal. Again, go back to the roots. It's, you know, see where they came from. Cannibal's Butchered at Birth. Very, very cool. Still on the death metal vibe. This one we've got Death. The you know, you could argue the original death metal band. This is Scream Bloody Gore, again, debut. I told you, I'm a debut fan. Now this one is cool. I do love this one. This is like it's like a pinwheel splatter thing. Look at that. It looks like a Jackson Pollock painting. That's very, very awesome. Like, probably one of the more, dare I say it, one of the more prettier vinyls I've got. It's very, very awesome. I think that one's very cool. And aside from the actual, you know, the funky LP itself, the album is fun too. Scream Bloody Gore is again, another fantastic debut. Look at the artwork. It's nothing graphic compared to what we've already just seen, but like, definitely paved the way. It's just a comic book, a horror comic book of just all things brutal. Infernal Death, Zombie Ritual, Denial of Life, Sacrificial, the great song, Regurgitated Guts, Baptized in Blood, the Evil Dead song, that's great. Scream Bloody Gore. It's a 10 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10 album. It's a very, very good one. But yeah, Death's debut, very, very cool. Scream Bloody Gore. Next album is another Death one, and it's Spiritual Healing. My favorite Death album. I love this album so much, and pretty much on par with Bloody Gore in the terms of like how it looks. Another pinwheel, except this one's more not as red. I assume that's just because, you know, of what album it's for. Spiritual Healing is obviously a very, very blue album, but like, you know, this Spiritual Healing is a step up from a step up from Bloody Gore, obviously, but it's also, I've got Leprosy and Human and Individual Thought Patterns, but only these two are the ones that I have that are like funky splatter, blood pinwheel stuff. I love this album so much. Living Monstrosity, Altering the Future is great. Defensive Personalities, that goddamn breakdown section, I don't know, you know the one where that double bass part just goes. The title track, Spiritual Healing, Genetic Reconstruction. Honestly, this is such a killer album, and like I say, my top ranked Death album, my favorite one of all time. I listen to this album too much. It's so good. I highly recommend you go listen to some Death. If you're a fan of death metal but haven't heard where death metal comes from, please go check it out. Spiritual Healing, put it back in its sleeve. Spiritual Healing is fantastic. Very, very cool. Right, real quick, this one is not heavy metal, it's rap. It's the only album by this artist that I own. We've got Eminem's latest album, I think. Is it still his latest album? Pretty sure. Music to Be Murdered By. This album dropped out of nowhere just before the pandemic, I remember that. It's a 2 LP thing, and this one's just, look at that. That's pretty evenly spread, and like, that's so cool. It's like on par with the Cannibal ones. It's like blood splattered gunshot stuff. It's real cool, given the name of the album and the album cover. But like, metal aside, this album it's very long. I'll give you that. I always struggle to get this one back in. Bear with me a second. This album is very long. It's like what? It's 20 tracks. It's amazing that it's only a 2 LP. It probably could have been more. But like, obviously side 1 and 2 are the better half. Literally everything on it. Unaccommodating, You Gon' Learn, Alfred, the little interlude, even that's cute as well, real cool. But yeah, In Too Deep, Godzilla, those kind of nights I didn't like at first because it had Ed Sheeran on it, but I was like, goddamn, it's actually quite funky. But yeah, honestly, it's so good. Darkness, obviously that awful shooting song, terrible, the Las Vegas one. Stepdad is awesome, I love that, and No Regrets is great too. Like I say, it's a long album, but it's Slim Shady doing great stuff. I'm weirdly glad that I got this album. So yeah, just another random splatter one. Eminem's Music to Be Murdered By. Coming up next is a film soundtrack, sort of. We got the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 Awesome Mix Deluxe Edition. So Guardians Deluxe Edition, it's got Awesome Mix Volume 1, and it's got the score, which I won't lie, I haven't actually put that LP on, but I have put on the Awesome Mix Volume 1 on quite a bit. It's what I call a Saturday night album. I have a lot of heavy metal, obviously, so when parents and friends come around, sometimes this is all they need to have a good time. It's yellow and red, whereas this side's more red and yellow, but honestly, this is a funky little soundtrack thing. I remember, okay, real quick, I'm not a Marvel fan, okay? All these Marvel films, all these superhero stuff, to me, nah, I'm just not interested. But obviously, I know what you're thinking. Well, if you're not interested, why have you got a Guardians album? Because I saw Guardians in the theaters, and I won't lie, Guardians is like, it's so early into the story. Oh, sorry, hang on. Sorry, that took much longer than it should have. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so I saw Guardians in the movie theater, and it's a cool standalone film. I love that it's not all about all this crossover stuff. It's you can watch it as a standalone film without needing to watch anything else in the story, and it's a good standalone film. I think it's really funny, and like I say, the soundtrack is fantastic. Hooked on a Feeling is great. Spirit in the Sky is awesome. Moonage Daydream, David Bowie is great. Fooled Around, I Want You Back, yeah, that's all right, I guess. But like, Come and Get Your Love, the first song that we hear in that film, that's such a cool way to open a film. I had that song as my alarm after I saw that film, and I was like, this is so cool, gets me so up and funky. So yeah, hate Marvel, great film, great album. One day I'll play the score. I love scores, I don't know why I haven't played it. Ow. Cool, enough with that, back into heavy metal. Opeth, My Arms, Your Hearse. I bought this in Australia. I was recently in Australia. We went to the Gold Coast before, as a deciding, not honeymoon, baby moon, before little boy comes along. And I saw this in the shelf, and I was like, yo, cool. This one is purple and white. Again, didn't expect it to be purple and white. I would have been fine with it to be black, but the fact that Opeth's My Arms, Your Hearse was available and on Splatter, thing, I was like, cool! Is this my favorite Opeth album? Probably not, but it is definitely top 3. I would put Blackwater Park above this one, probably. Unless, I just haven't spent enough time with My Arms, Your Hearse. Like, I'm familiar with it, but I obviously don't know it note for note. It's a hauntingly great album. I'm a fan of Orchid. I'm not really a fan of Morning Rise. So to come off Morning Rise and then to go into this album was like, boof. It was really, really cool. April Ethereal was great. Demon of the Falls is probably, the best song. We all know it. We all love it. Circle of the Tyrant, Credence, Karma, the Amen Corner. Yeah, honestly, it's a great album. It's gothic, it's progressive, it's dark, it's death metal, it's scary, it's really, really good. Opeth's My Arms, Your Hearse. Go, let's do it. Bit of old school metal now. We go back to the start, well, almost. We go back to 1980. We got the Prince of Darkness's debut album, Blizzard of Oz. We all know this album and we all love it, right? This one, again, this one's pretty much just grey, but it has the slightest part of Swirl in it. You see that? Look at that. It's pretty much minimal. It's like they were running out of ink when they did this. So, obviously I had to include it, but like, it's a bit better on this side. Yeah, that strip there. It's a cool, it's cool. I don't mind it. I didn't need this one to be black. I didn't need this one to be colored. I didn't buy it because it was colored. But it's cool to have. Blizzard of Oz is a very important album for, every metal collection, really. It's up there with Priest's British Steel. It's up there with Sabbath, obviously. It's a great album. I Don't Know is a fantastic song, which I won't lie, I didn't know until I heard the album, which wasn't in full, should have been a lot earlier in life, but it wasn't. We all know Crazy Train, we don't need to talk about it. Goodbye to Romance is a cool song, a cute little, acoustic ballad. Jess loves that song. D, a little instrumental part for Randy Rhoads' girlfriend, pretty sure. Mr. Crowley, No Bone Movies. That's like the silly Ozzy song. If you listen to Ozzy's albums, you'll notice that a lot of his music has silly songs. Each one has one silly song on it, and this one's No Bone Movies. But yeah, it's a great album. Blizzard of Oz, really, really cool stuff. Very important, very historical. Go listen to it if you haven't. I can't stand if you've heard Crazy Train and not heard the rest of this album. More Aussie, we get the second album, Diary of a Madman. This, to me, is so much better than Blizzard of Oz. It still is probably my favorite Aussie album. This one is much more of an obvious swirl, pinwheel-y vibe. Why do I keep saying pinwheel? Well, actually, no, it's not. It just looks like it's red, but you can see that it looks like it's dirty. Like, that's the splatter part of it, This album is great. We love Diary of a Madman. I play it quite a bit, and it's probably one of the calmer metal albums I've got. One of a metal album that you would throw in the Saturday night category. Over the Mountain is cool. Flying High Again, great song. You Can't Kill Rock and Roll is cool. Believer, I love the riff in Believer. Little Dolls, Tonight, and the song Diary of a Madman, such a cool album. You put these two side by side, and obviously you have quite an iconic battle, but for me, Diary of a Madman is by far the better of the two. If you haven't heard Diary of a Madman, I'm not gonna roast you, because like I said, I didn't hear this album until in the last 5 years of my life. So, but I would highly recommend you go check it out. Diary of a Madman is a really, really cool album, and definitely a must listen for any metalhead who likes metal. Like I say, it's very important. Go listen to it. Last one for Aussie. Ordinary Man. This one, again, a bit like those ones, isn't really a splatter. It's more smoky, it's grey, marbly vibe. It looks like concrete mixed with ghosts. Looks like marble, but yeah, it's stone grey. I don't know. Very, very cool. Ordinary Man is a cool album. I personally think Patient Number 9 is better, but still, Ordinary Man I think is a fantastic album. Purely for songs like Straight to Hell, I think this would have been a great album to retire on, I reckon. I don't know why, it just gives me off that vibe. Straight to Hell and All My Life are two fantastic opening songs. Ordinary Man, the song, is fuck you, genuinely beautiful, okay? I think it's a great song. Under the Graveyard is still cool too. The second side of the LP is a bit funny. Scary Little Green Man is questionable, but I'd listen to it. I'd much rather listen to Scary Little Green Man over It's a Raid. It's a Raid is weird. Today's the End is quite cool too. But yeah, Ordinary Man is a cool album, and I'd say go give it a listen, because, you know, it's Ozzy Osbourne. Second to Tony Iommi in terms of like kings of heavy metal. So yeah, Ordinary Man, go listen to it. Very, very cool. We're doing well, we're nearly there. We're into T now, back to Scandinavian heavy metal. We've got Tyr, or Tyr, however you want to say it. This is Gates of Hell from 2018, I believe. This one is a clear mushroom brown marbled vinyl, and I know that because it says it there. I've got 171 out of 200. This thing is a beast of an album. It's so heavy. It's from, like, physically heavy, I mean. Metal Blade did a fantastic job with it. Look at it. It kind of looks like what Ordinary Man looks like, but, like, this one is marble, is brown, you know what I mean? Very, very cool. Mushroom brown. I enjoy Tyr's music quite a lot. This album is... I bought it because it was in hype. I was listening to them, you know, a lot. And, only recently, when I ranked all these guys' albums, did I like properly sit down and do nothing and listen to this whole album in its entirety. Side D is really good. But yeah, side A and B, Gates of Hell, fantastic song. Ragnar's Kvaldi, however you say that, that's a great song. Sunset Shore, Downhill Drunk is fun. King of Time, Fire and Flame. It's a good album. Like, you know, we've got Hail to the Hammer and all that other, you know, great stuff. What else they got? That Hail to the Hammer, what's it called? By the Sword of My Hand, great song. Anyway, they're a great band. I would highly recommend you check them out. Bit of Scandinavian Viking metal for you. Really, really cool stuff. Yeah, that's a really cool album. I want more of Tyr, however you say it. Cool. Nearly, like I say, nearly there. Venom, their second album, black metal. I have Welcome to Hell. That's not splattered. This one is... Black metal is a fun album. I think I prefer Welcome to Hell, but this one is still cool, and look at the swirl on this bad boy. Just straight, oh wow, this is stuck together, isn't it? I've listened to this album, I swear to God, but look at that. Oh, nice clear, not clear, nice fucking black and grey, mystic looking demonic thing. Very cool. It's probably the most metal looking album I've got. You know, that's, to me, that is how I would make all my LPs, like, regardless. When Rusty Darlington, you know, breaks out, gets big and gets famous, I'm going to publish all the LPs that I do looking like that. Because, like I said, that, to me, is just the epitome of metal. And, like I say, black metal is a great album. The song Black Metal is fantastic. To Hell and Back, Buried Alive, Raise the Dead, and Teacher's Pet. Side A is phenomenal. I really love it. Sacrifice is cool. Countess Bathory, really cool there. And Don't Burn the Witch is cool. And it comes with a little snippet of At War with Satan, which is a fantastic album too, by the way. I highly recommend you go look for that. But if you do find it, link me, because I want that album too. But yeah, black metal, very, very cool stuff. Right, so that's all the alphabet. Now these are the ones that were out of sync because I forgot. Coming in nearly at the end, Evanescence with Fallen, the debut album from 2003. This one technically isn't a splatter one, but it's not black or a color, so I thought I'd include it for fun. It's clear. It's pretty much, it looks like it's made of glass. I love this album. We all love this album. If we were listening to anything that we thought was, you know, like adolescent-y, angsty music, it was probably this or Linkin Park. I listen to this a lot more than I listen to Linkin Park. But anyway, Going Under, fantastic song. Bring Me to Life, just screams, you know, Amy Lee and Evanescence. Everybody's Full, My Immortal, Haunted, Tourniquet. Such a good side, but I won't lie. My favorite song is the first song of side B, and that is Imaginary. Take It Over Me is cool. Hello is creepy and eerie and very sad too, but still beautiful. The only gripe I've got with this little album, the songs Tourniquet and Imaginary, when you listen to them on the CD, they fade into each other. So like one is still playing while the other song starts. But on here, it's where the side ends. So it fades out, the album stops, and then you have to flip the side over, and then it fades in again, and Imaginary starts. So I was just like, God damn, could you not put them, like, could you not put Tourniquet as track 1 for side B? But, I mean, other than that, it's still a phenomenal album. Evanescence has fallen 20 years this year, March 5, I think. And then the last one, the beast, one of the heaviest, again, in weight, Iron Maiden's latest album, Senjutsu. I'm not going to get into details as to what we think about this album. I'm just going to say I think it's great. I ranked it in the top 10. Maiden are still sounding amazing. They are on form. The songwriting to me is brilliant. It's just all good. Eddie's looking crisp. We played this album a bit. You know, we used to play this album a bit when it came out, and when the girlfriend wants to play Maiden, it's always a good day. This one is a JB Hi-Fi exclusive, apparently. I don't really know what that means. It's just like blood red splatter, again, on that Senjutsu-y, Japan-y, smoky vibe. Really awesome stuff. But like I said before, this album, I loved it when I first heard it. I thought Maiden are back. You know, Maiden are doing great. I just thought it was just such a cool... I was about to look at the tracks, but it's just, yeah, so I have to do it off memory. The title track's ambiguous. Like, you know, the drums sound cool, definitely gives it the heritage vibe. Writing on the Wall is great. Stratego was fun. Yeah, I know those two around the wrong way. Lost in a Lost World was fun. That gave me sort of Hallowed vibes, I think. But like side D, or whatever side 6 is, because this is a triple LP. Doesn't need to be, but it fucking is. Parchment, Death of the Celts, Hell on Earth, those 3 songs are just fantastic, and that's what pretty much put this album as high as I wanted to put it. It's actually phenomenal. So yeah. Fantastic team, we did it. There's my little collection of swirls. Well, I say little, when you have them all laid out in front of you, it actually looks like a lot. Like I say, so yeah, sorry I've been a bit slack. I have a son coming, he's taking up time. I work 8 to 4 now. I used to work 6 to 2, so I've lost my little weekday hobby time. But, you know, try get some stuff out for you guys. As I name dropped before, I have an album coming out. Like, legit. I physically, well, okay, not physically, but I digitally have an album coming out. Rusty Darlington's debut album is coming out on June 6th via Rustic Records, which is my record label that I gave DistroKid, so it's not really my record label, but you know what I mean. It sounds like it's awesome. I've already dropped there's a few demos on the channel that are from that album, if you really go check them out, but I've got two official uploads on Spotify coming off that album as well. If you're interested, just type Rusty Darlington into Spotify, boom, join us, take my 5 monthly listeners, let's make it 7, you know what I mean? Like I say, June 6th, pre-save it in your calendars, and yeah, let me know what you think about it, really. It's just pirate, black, symphonic, it's just heavy metal, it's everything I love, so yeah, keep an eye out for that. But enough dropping. Subscribe, because that's what I need. I'm 1 sub away from 420. Fucking give it to me. It'll be so fun. Let me know down below your favorite album from here. Let me know if you've got any swirls. Show me your swirls. I want to see them. It excites me. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me, team, while we sit here and go through my albums. I'll be back again soon. I'm probably going to film another video immediately because I'm alone and I've got time. So yeah, thanks for watching, team, and keep an eye out for the next video. Until that happens though, stay inside, stay safe, spin the albums, go get swirls, and I'll see you in the next video. See you later.